And on another matter, late today, the besieged Speaker of the House of Representatives, Peter Slipper, released a series of cab charge dockets, which he says demonstrate the claim he criminally defrauded the Commonwealth is a fabrication. Even if that is so, he still faces a civil claim that he sexually harassed a male staffer. To discuss that and the Health Services Union, a short time ago, I spoke to the Workplace Relations Minister. Bill Shorten, welcome.
Good evening, Chris.
To Peter Slipper first, he's released a series of cab charge documents. He says that these now prove that the criminal allegations against him are a complete fabrication. Do you take them at their face value?
Listen, I don't know. I'm sure that what is produced will be examined by the relevant authorities. I do note that Mr Slipper asserts that these are fabrications. I'm not a handwriting expert. The authorities will sort this matter out once and for all.
But the allegation, of course, was that he filled out blank cab charge dockets, so the dates are really irrelevant, aren't they? They could turn up at any time.
Listen, as I've said to you, I don't know. I'm sure this paperwork will be submitted to the relevant authorities. He continues to assert his innocence very strongly. He's also said that he intends to make a statement in the near future. I don't think there's any more I can add at this point.
Do you think that this is sufficient then for him to be able to return to his job as Speaker of the House of Representatives?
I think that what people want is to have the matter cleared up. He's said that he's been unfairly set up. He says that he's innocent. The relevant authorities will let us all know. He's also said he intends to make a statement in the near future. There's nothing more I could add which wouldn't be me making things up.
Well, certainly, though, but there are still those claims of sexual harassment which are hanging over him, and there are members of the House of Representatives, the crossbenchers, in fact, who don't believe that he should resume his job until that's been cleared up. Do you agree with that?
What I do agree with is that sexual harassment, there should be zero tolerance for. Sexual harassment is not appropriate in the workplace, and there should be zero tolerance for it. What I also know is that he said that he intends to make a statement in the near future. I think we have to wait and see what he says there.
But if there should be zero tolerance for sexual harassment, then does that mean that he should stand down until such time as this matter is cleared up?
There should be zero tolerance for sexual harassment. Of course, that harassment has to be proven. What I think is the most useful contribution I can make to you tonight, Chris, is to say that he said he's going to make a statement in the near future.
Sure. One last point on this, though. Should the same standard be applied to him as it was applied to the head of ADFA when the government demanded that he stand aside and he was not accused of sexual harassment?
Well, in terms of the decision, I understand that decision wasn't made by the government. It was made by within the military.
Under great pressure from the minister.
Oh, well, you say that. I say that the circumstances were that it was the military who made that decision. What I would say to you is that there should be zero tolerance for sexual harassment. What I would also say is that Mr Slipper is asserting his innocence. I'd also say to you that he's indicated that he intends to make a further statement soon.
On the HSU, do you believe that you'll succeed in placing that union under administration?
Well, it's not a foregone conclusion. Today, the government took the unique step of intervening in court proceedings between warring groups of the HSU. We have signalled today our intention to seek an administrator be appointed in the HSU East branch, which is the epicentre of a lot of the problems which seem to be occurring. We've done this because we want to see the union return to the control of the members as soon as possible. Our application will signal that we want an administrator in, we want all of the people, the elected people, their positions declared vacant. We want to have an election as soon as possible. We've done this because there are 55,000 hospital cleaners, laundry attendants, catering staff, and we can't continue this situation of day after day of counterclaim and allegation and counterclaim and allegation. Unions in Australia are very good and strong institutions. This particular branch is clearly in a real problem.
Have you been involved in any way in trying to organise members against Cathy Jackson, the secretary of that union?
That is completely untrue.
And she says, and other members say, that you've been involved in trying to get the numbers against her.
No, that's completely untrue. What I am interested in is to make sure that the members of this union actually have an accountable and effective union working in their interests. I think in a lot of the debate and controversy in the last number of months, There hasn't been a sufficient discussion about the members having their say. The Australian trade union movement is an honest trade union movement. It's a free and independent movement. For the government today to seek to intervene, to pursue an application for an administrator, is a grave and serious step. We do so because we believe that the legitimate interests of hospital workers in the health system need to come back to the fore.
It is a grave and serious step, and we've seen the ACTU also kick the union out of its ranks. What does it say then about the man at the centre of this, Craig Thompson, and the fact that you still rely on his vote in the House of Representatives?
Well, as you know as well as I do, Chris, there is... his time has been, allegations against him and other officials is currently the subject of a final report by Fair Work Australia, which is an independent body. That report has now been finalised. We all await for the independent statutory body to decide whether or not it will pursue civil or criminal charges. There have been plenty of calls since I was made Industrial Relations Minister 4 months ago for me to intervene in this report. I think we all owe it to those 55,000 members of the Health Services Union to make sure that we don't contaminate. Sorry, but these are important issues.
They are important,
that we
but
don't.
You won't even call on this organisation to release its report. That's all that's been asked of you. That you call on. Would you call now for the Fair Work Australia to just release this report?
I tell you what, Chris, I'm not going to play a political grandstanding game which has the potential to contaminate possible criminal or civil charges. We owe it. You as the media, I as the government, and indeed a lot of other people in positions of authority owe it, that this process, which has been too long, and I've said that before, that it reaches fruition, and a premature publication of report which has the potential to compromise possible civil or criminal charges, that lets down these hospital cleaners and workers who just want to see this matter finished properly.
There are no civil charges, there are no criminal charges. There is no way that anything can be compromised at the moment. Even Craig Thompson's lawyer must know that. There's no impediment in having this report released.
But Chris, your question presumes that there won't be in the future
if that was
any
the case,
civil
we'd never have any reports delivered by Parliament, Minister.
Oh, no, you know that this is a different matter altogether. My advice is that as the Minister, and I take my obligation seriously, that's why I've taken the unprecedented step of making an application for an administrator into the union. My advice is clear. Do not let down these workers in these hospitals in Victoria and New South Wales by contaminating the final stage of the process, and I will withstand pressure to contaminate the process which may lead to civil or criminal charges. That mightn't make everyone happy, but we will see these reports. I have no doubt the information will come to light. Charges will or won't be made, but on my watch we are not going to contaminate that process.
Bill Shorten, thank you.
Good evening.